What does Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Magic the Gathering, and entrepreneurship have in common? Well, Bobby Maximus. That's who they have in common. If you don't know who Bobby Maximus is, Bobby Maximus is a personal friend of mine, but he also happens to be a former UFC fighter, a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu world champion, and an avid fan of Magic the Gathering. On this episode of the podcast, we're going to talk about his new channel that focuses on Magic the Gathering and teaches people how to play Magic the Gathering. What I love about it, though, on this episode, we're going to go into detail about how you can start a brand and how you can start a channel and even a business within your favorite parts of the hobby, whether it's Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, or Dungeons and Dragons. If you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe to this channel, hit a like, smack that like button, as they say, and leave a comment below. But without further ado, let's dive into this episode of the Bearded Nerd Podcast. We are live. Brother, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I cannot complain. I'm really excited to talk about all the things we're going to talk about, especially my love for Magic again. Your Discord has really helped me to foster that again. I've been playing more, so that's been fun. It's been really good.
That makes me happy. That's why I started it.
Yeah, dude. It's a good community too. Everyone's really chill. Everyone's really friendly and really encouraging. So kudos to you on that. But man, last time we met, you didn't have that going on. So there's a lot that's happened with you and Magic, man. I'd love to hear an update. What's going on? Tell the good people.
So I've always been involved with fitness to a degree. For people that don't know me, I fought in the UFC, had a reasonable career. I've been featured in Men's Health a bunch of times. I've trained NFL players, NBA players, things like that. So I've always been, I guess, a content creator. That's like a new thing for me to actually be able to use that term. I'm 47 years old. So I always want to like quantify things or qualify things in terms of like what I consider are real jobs. Like I was a police officer, I was a teacher, I was a content creator is an actual viable career. And even though I've been in the content creation business for years, I would always call myself a trainer. I would always call myself like some other word, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But when I look at it, I've been involved in the content creation community like YouTube for a decade, if you will. Instagram, Facebook, things of that nature, even all the way as far back as MySpace, if you could believe that.
Man,
that was like a content, you created content, okay? It was this year, actually last year on March 1st of 2025, I decided to dive into the Magic the Gathering content creation realm, if you will. It's been a hobby for 31 years. I started in 1994. I started in Unlimited. I have a massive collection, but I'd never done content on it. It was always my safe space. It was an area that nobody would ask me about. It was my private time. In my most private moments, when I wanted to relax, I would retreat to Magic the Gathering, or as part of, I guess, Magic the Gathering, not really part of Magic the Gathering, but the same kind of universe, if you will. Dungeons and Dragons, Journeys in Middle-earth, maybe look here, maybe some Warhammer we would play. But I've always been into like gamer nerd type stuff.
Yeah.
But that was like my safe space. No one asked me about it. It was my private thing. It was mine. A couple of friends convinced me to start a channel, and I did. And I didn't want to do it halfway. I started from day one with the same ferocity, the same intensity, the same discipline, the same dedication, the same foresight that I did for my fitness YouTube that is like a big moneymaker for me, that I did with my fitness app, that I did with writing for Men's Health. I didn't treat my content creation like a hobby. I treated it like a full-time career.
Yeah.
So now we're less than a year in. I'm about to go over 10,000 subscribers. I've monetized my YouTube channel. I have got some endorsement deals. I'm an official ambassador with Wizards of the Coast. And so for a year, I mean, for under a year, the year anniversary will be March 1st. I think I've been really, really successful. I think within one more year, I can get a play button. I can be at 100,000 subs. And I really think I could be making a full-time income off of it. So
That's awesome.
it's growing and doing something I love, you know?
And, I've known you for a couple of years now, and not to sound creepy, I have followed your content for a lot of years, since 2007, 2008. My brother and I followed a lot of the things that you did. Um, and I feel like with Magic, 100%, you've put your competitive nature into it, treating this
Yep.
seriously. But before folks in the audience get this twisted, there's nothing wrong with that, because when I see on Discord, when you treat this as a hobby, you're half-assing it. And pardon
Yep.
the language, but you are not fully committed to it, which therefore you're not putting your whole self into it, which I feel like that's what you're doing. You're putting your whole self into this. So it's really refreshing to see that. But, with all that being said, in a year, how did you go from that big leap? I feel like there's a lot of folks out there listening to the Alex Hormozis, the Gary V's, all the big, business people out there. And they're like, oh, that sounds really cool, but it's confusing, because they want to turn their hobby, whether it's D&D or Magic or something, and they want to make it a full-time job. Because let's be honest, there might not be a lot of people who feel satisfied working a 9 to 5 in a corporate gig. So
Yep.
what were the steps? What was the mindset, and what were the steps that you took to kind of like internalize it and then manifest it?
Okay. So a couple of things I really hate. I don't like fake. I don't like clickbait, and I don't like gatekeeping. And I feel like content creators that try to help other content creators, they always hold back. They want to gate
Mm,
because they look at other people as competition. Like, I will sell you my system and you can use my system to grow. But I think a lot of those things end up being not useful information for people. So I'm going to try to systemize this for you and break it
okay.
down as simple as possible. So if you're watching this at home, you have a 100% chance of being successful if you're willing to put in the work. So the first thing, you need to become an expert in whatever it is you are talking about. You need to have street credit. You need to have some type of expert testimony, if you will. So I spent 31 years building, collecting, honing, learning, so that I have a collection. I have a reason as to why you should listen to me.
For sure.
For your world, D&D. I love D&D. You can see like a little sticker on the wall here. Played
Mhm.
a couple of D&D games. I enjoy it. I love the lore, the mythology. I've never been a DM. It would be very difficult for me to start a channel on how to be a DM in Dungeons and Dragons, just because I think it's a good business opportunity. You know what I need to do? My number one step is spend 2 years being a DM. Like I need to do something to become the expert in that field. So that is number one. If I was starting a YouTube channel from scratch, if I was to do it a third time, because my fitness one does really well too, I would have to pick something I'm an expert in. I would pick Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a black belt. I could go right to work. But understand that I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu now for 2 decades.
Yeah. And also you compete you compete as well.
Yes, I've won a World Masters Championship at the black belt level. So it wouldn't be, to actually compare that. I'm looking up right now. It's off screen, but I have a Journeys in Middle Earth tabletop game. I am not the expert in tabletop gaming. I can't start. I could get there, but I'm going to have to spend time to become the expert in it, whatever it is I am talking about. The reason that's important is not just for credibility. It's for the ease of content creation.
True.
So if you have to research and learn, you will never be able to put out the requisite amount of content. If you're an expert and someone can just stick a mic in front of you and you can talk, you have an unlimited well of content that you can create. So here, Ryan, I'm going to quiz you. What is your favorite character type in Dungeons and Dragons?
Mountain Dwarf Paladin.
Okay, why?
because the half caster ability of a paladin allows me to play around with magic, but I'm still able to wield a great sword or a great axe, and I do
Okay,
that for
done. That's enough.
reasons. Yeah.
The reason I can't make a D&D channel right now is because I know there's bards. I know there's necromancers.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a new class called the pugilist.
And yeah, they're in some. Yeah.
There's a cleric. There's a paladin. See,
Yeah.
I'm running out. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
an elf, but maybe not. I think there's goblins.
Yeah. No, for sure. I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
Saint Cuthbert of the Cudgel or whatever his name is.
Versus I could ask you, like, what's your favorite, what's your favorite commander in a red black combo?
Yeah, and I could just spit it out. So my point is, if I decide to get in D&D because I think it's a viable business because D&D's blowing up right now, if I had to make a video on character classes, I would have to do a lot of research to sound intelligent.
Yeah.
You could just get it out. That's why the expert stuff is really, really important. And that is the start, right?
Okay.
You have to have that base. You have to have the collection. That's step number one. Step number two, if you want to turn this into a job, you need to treat it like a job from day one, whether you're getting paid or not. And you have to be prepared to work a very long time and a lot of hours for free with zero expectation of anything in return before you even make a dime. And this is where most people fail. I feel like most people have the expert thing going. You don't start a D&D channel because you think it's popular. You start it because you love it. You want to talk about it. You think you have something to add to the discussion. Okay, good. But then you start a channel and you post your first video and you think you should have 1 million subscribers and being paid right away. It does not work like that. It can be an extremely, extremely slow build. Do you know what my expectation was for year one?
What?
1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
If I could have done that, I would have said I was successful. That was and I wanted to do 100 videos. I didn't make those numbers up. They came from a guy. There's a guy, I don't know if you've heard of him. You can Google him to do some research if you haven't. He's a YouTuber. His name's Mr. Beast. He's a relatively humble YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But he says you have to make 100 videos. And in his year one number, he had 1,000 subs after his first year.
Yeah. Wow.
That is, by the way, the all-time alpha of YouTube.
100%.
To be clear. Just to be clear. And so I was like, if I can get 1,000 in a year, that was my expectation. Now I'm blowing that out of the water. Year one, I'm probably going to be at my year one anniversary at 12 to 13,000 subs. And I'm monetizing and I've got sponsorships. But I went in with the expectation that I'm going to be doing this for a year minimum for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Despite the fact you're doing it for nothing, you have to treat it like a job. It's not just a side hobby. It's not just a side hustle. You need to treat it like a job. Every single video, every single piece of content that you put out, you have to improve. You have to practice speaking. You have to practice your diction, your intonation. You have to make a better thumbnail. You have to research other channels and competitors. You have to figure out what your competitive edge is. Do you know what a competitive edge is, Brian?
Something that you have an advantage over your competition.
Correct. It's something you can do that other people cannot. So guess what I can do that other people cannot? I have a massive collection. I have 69 full Commander decks. I have a collection that goes back from 1994. A lot of content creators show graphics on screen. They use proxies.
Yeah.
They use real cards. That's a competitive advantage.
Yeah, true.
You can hate on me for it. You could say I'm a finance bro. You can say I build these real decks and I play with them, and that authenticity shines through. That's my competitive advantage, my massive collection. I am going to use it.
For sure. And yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the other thing that allows me to do is pump out content, because all I have to do, if I got 69 of these with 300 construction, I don't know what to do for a video today. I set up a top-down camera, a front camera. I take my cards out. Guys, today we are going to talk about Miriam, the Sentinel Worm. I'm going to tell you why this is one of my favorite dragon commanders, and we're going to talk all about my dragon deck. Because I can do that with this, let's compare that. How long do you think it would take me? You do editing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long would it take me to download 100 different cards from the internet, crop them, put them into an editor at the appropriate time? If I just have a top-down camera and I could say, the next card in the deck is the Dragon Tempest. Let's take a look at this card. The Dragon Tempest, whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, gains haste until the end of turn. The reason I like this in this deck is for this reason. Moving on.
Ironically, I do have that in my Dragons deck.
I love it.
That's not the point. But you just created speed.
I have saved myself tons of editing time.
Oh yeah, and actually, and I'm going to add to this though. How much time, if I were to put two screens up, right? Time that you spent making a video, editing, scheduling, publishing versus time spent looking for the image, downloading the image that isn't fuzzy, cropping the image, and then having it in a sequence that
hours.
Yeah. You could have pumped out a full video, scheduled it, and made your thumbnail, and then go hit a workout.
Oh, dude, I can make 5 of those videos. It's like a 5-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, excuse me. Like it's insane that the time that people waste on that. And it's not for any lack of trying, but sometimes we have to kind of look outside of the box and say, well, wait a minute, what is actually worth our time? So that competitive edge kind of gives you, remember those what is it, the guardrails or the bumper things in bowling? It kind of, instead of having them like this, it narrows it. So now you have a better lane and you have a higher probability of getting that strike.
Yep. So there's competitive edge, but you have to treat this like a business, and this is how I look at it. So now when you look at a business, you're going to have to identify what your weaknesses are. Where does your business fall down? Where can't you compete? Your competitive edge. What are your competitive disadvantages? And one of the number one competitive disadvantages people have is they don't know how to edit or make thumbnails or write. I'm going to tell you why that's important. Yesterday, I wanted to do an opening for Lorwyn Eclipse.
Yep.
Got it? Now, this is the second box. I did the opening yesterday, and I posted it. One of the hangups that I used to have in creating content is I would create the content, great, but then I would have to pay an editor and wait for an editor for the turnaround.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a week. Sometimes that's 72 hours. Sometimes that's, well, now I've missed my Lorwyn window because you have to get this out when it's hot.
Yep.
If I can teach myself to edit, A, I save myself a lot of money, but B, more importantly, I save myself time.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to wait 72 hours to turn around a video. So yesterday, I set up a top-down camera. I put this down. Okay. Yep. Front camera. All right, guys, Bobby Maximus here, Muscles and Magic the Gathering. Today, we are going to open Lorwyn Eclipse. It's going to be a fabulous journey. I'm going to be your tour guide. Let's go. All right, let's rip this thing open, go. I filmed it. It took like 27 minutes. I edited it in under an hour and then had it posted on the internet. Had I have not known how to edit, now I'm looking at a week and it's like a backup and I got to pay. And the money I could pay, I could use that to buy other cards. It's like a whole thing.
Yep.
Now, when I say you got to be willing to work for free for a while, I spent 36 hours over a weekend teaching myself how to edit. I did have some help from my good friend Joe Sabula, who
Guest on the podcast.
who walked me through how to edit and how to that, but then I had to practice and then I had to learn and then I had to, okay, well, now I have taken a bottleneck, what was a bottleneck for me, and now I've turned it into an advantage because I can do all the stuff in-house.
Yeah.
That makes a massive difference, Brian. A massive difference. Guess how much I got paid that weekend?
0. Zip.
But people aren't willing to do that. They want the money. They want the, okay, now what's the next thing I can do? How about researching your competitors? Do you have any idea how many podcasts I watch on Magic the Gathering?
I bet a bunch.
To come up with content ideas, to come up with, you know how much I get paid for that? Nothing, but I treat it like a job, right?
Yeah.
You should know right now, what are your favorite 5 YouTube channels dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons and why? How many subscribers do they have? How many videos do they put out a week?
Yeah.
Because if all the most successful channels are putting out 3 videos a week, you better put out 3 a week.
Yeah.
Why are you putting out once a month and expecting yourself to grow?
Exactly.
So there's that's the element. So the element 2, element 1 is become the expert. Element 2 is you got to jobify it. You got to have a system. You got to treat it not like a side hustle, like it's a full-time job. You might not be like Michael Jordan today, but you can practice like Michael Jordan practices.
Mm-hmm.
That's the analogy. Like otherwise, you're never going to get there. Do you think? Are you a basketball fan?
Not as much, but I'm in North Carolina, man. So if you don't know Chapel Hill and Duke basketball, you're toast.
So do you think Michael Jordan became a champion before he started having Michael Jordan habits? Or do you think that was there since day one and that made him be a champion? Like that's what people miss. They're like, I'm going to wait till I'm making full-time money to treat this like a job. If you don't treat it like a job, you're never going to make full-time money.
Yep. It's well, I would assume like in your career, especially in the UFC and in jiu-jitsu, you research your competitors. You research who you were up against. You also research what probably, at the time of your career, what were some of the best drills, right? What were some of the guys doing that would make you competitive? I don't know, whatever it may be, but you were doing.
I never got paid for that stuff until I did all the stuff and I started winning. Here's another one. I say kids today. I'm going to sound like a boomer or an unk or whatever they call me.
Unk, yeah.
you feel like you should get hired as an editor for $100 an hour day one with 0 experience. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. You got to practice on your own for hours before, hundreds of hours.
Yep.
Thousands of hours. Can't I just get paid today? No.
Yeah.
Like you need to put in the time. You do DMing professionally, correct?
Correct.
Okay. How many games did you DM for free before you got your first paid gig?
I mean, 10 years worth.
Yeah, but can I just get paid tomorrow? Can I just go be a DM and get paid tomorrow, Brian? No. Like,
good luck.
This is the problem with people. They want it from day one. You got to work. You got to be willing to work for free, but you got to treat it like a job. It's not a side hustle. I hate the term side hustle. No, it's your job if you want to be successful.
And I think we've bastardized that whole thing because it's also not fair to your audience if you treat it like a side hustle, right? Because then you're not committed to it. You're not giving the energy and the devotion that your audience or your customers and clients deserve. So,
and everybody wants a hack. They want a shortcut. They want 3 easy payments of $9.99. They want to take that Alex Hormozi course, and Alex is going to tell them exactly how they're going to build their business, and you pay them a bunch of money. But no, it doesn't work like that. You need to treat it like a job for a long period of time without the expectation of anything in return, and then you will start to grow. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I do research, I test, I do all the things that I need to know how to do. I'm forecasting out what 2027 content looks like right now.
Yeah.
2026, because this is what businesses do. You think Nike has no idea what they're releasing in 2027? They know. They have an idea. They might not know exactly, but they're like, hey, we need to launch a shoe every day on this. That's what needs to get done. If you don't want to do that, you can do it. You can treat it like a hobby. Let me be clear. But then don't have the expectation of success attached to it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And it's like that in any industry, right?
Yeah.
So number one, you got to be the expert. Number two, you got to treat it like a job. That's like the second biggest thing. The third thing is you have to try to improve every single time you put something out. Make it better. Like test stuff with your lights, test stuff with your camera, invest in a better mic. The minute you're like, this is good enough, you are going to stop growing. I am trying to improve every single time. Here's one. Practice talking to yourself on camera so you can get better at speaking. Who does that? Nobody, right? Nope. DM to your stuffed animals. I don't know. Like DM to your kids. Like,
or you could go to your local game store and volunteer to be a dungeon master and run games for free. And even the best step you could do is, hey, can you guys write a review? Can I record you writing a review and letting folks know how and what you think of it, and then collect that so you have your receipts, right? You talked about you need to gain the experience. Well, that's a great way. But again, like you said, sometimes people aren't willing to do it for free.
But you got to keep improving. You got to keep improving. Lighting. I just bought these lights at Home Depot.
Oh, yeah.
They're like little husky lights, right? Anyway, I saw them and I'm like, oh, this can like actually be really good for like key lights, for fill lights to like put here. Because how does this now? Let's do a little test. Look how that just changed.
Yeah, lighting just changed completely.
Now this doesn't look good. I'm not saying it looks good, but what about now?
Yeah. But if you were to put that, actually looks really good. If you were to put 3 of those, right, in different positions, and how much did you invest in that too?
What about that? Look at this. Like there's ways to learn how to do different lighting. So just do test runs, not, hey, I'm happy with 10,000 subscribers or whatever it is. I'm good enough. I'm just going to keep. No, you got to keep pushing. You got to keep learning. You got to keep every single video. Try to make it better. Try to make your writing better. Try to make your thumbnails better. Start researching people in other niches to see what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. If you can do those 3 things, I think you would be shocked where you would be in a year.
True.
Very true. Now, another thing, frequency matters. You can't put stuff out once a month. You need at least 2 videos a week.
Yeah. What did you say? It was on the Maximus podcast where it was about working out, and you tied it to percentiles, where it's like, okay, if you work out once a week, it's X amount percent, right? And then 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and it kind of you incremented. And it really stuck with me because the consistency of working out is what's going to get you to your goal. So if you are posting, once, twice, 3 times a week, I don't know what the schedule would be on YouTube for that particular individual, but the consistency matters. And actually, I have a question because I've heard some people say, well, with the algorithm, it's almost like they're trying to chase this algorithm. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like less complex than, yes, there's an algorithm. Sure. I know that YouTube at time of recording is pushing newer channels. However, I have an older channel personally, but I've seen consistent growth in my posting. So I guess like, is that so what's the, is there it seems like that's a bit of a contradiction. It's consistency that works.
So, So I think in a lot of industries, let's go back to the workout thing.
Yeah, let's go.
You work out 3 days a week. You think you're crushing it. You think you're dedicated. You think you're doing awesome. You literally showed up 42% of available days.
Yeah.
In what damn universe is 42% a winning effort? Like what, like, okay, you're married. You're also a dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked your wife or your kids, rate Brian as a dad. And they rated you at 42% on their
I'd
version
be
of Rotten
devastated.
Tomato. Devastated, right? But yet you work out 3 days a week and you think you're really crushing it. Like, get out of here with that. So let's be clear. People put in a minimal amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
And then because they fail and they're unable to look at themselves in the mirror and be critical, they say, it's the algorithm. It's the YouTube favors new channels. That's why it doesn't like mine. No, dude, you put out one video a month. That's why it doesn't like you, right? Your work's not good. If you do things consistently and do them well for a long period of time, your hard work will pay off. But
Absolutely.
again, it might be back to Mr. Beast, 100 videos in your first year. And every single one needs to get better. What is that? 2 videos a week. Every Thursday and Sunday, you're putting out a video, whether you like it or not, for a year without a cent in your pocket. That's what it takes to get good. So you have to be consistent. Now, I'm putting out 3 videos a week, but my minimum is 2. There'll almost never be. There are some situations where I'll have a video go viral and I'll let it live for a minute. Like I won't put another one out.
Yeah.
But I am putting out. I mean, I could probably pull my stats. Let me actually pull them up because I think numbers are important, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So let's check. I'm going to tell you. I started my channel when? March 1st, 2025?
Yes.
Okay. I know that. And by the way, March 1st, it wasn't some magic day. It just happened that was the day. I was actually like, when did I start my channel? I looked back on my YouTube. My first upload was March. So I'm going to my YouTube studio. I'm on my side computer, by the way, Brian. Okay, YouTube studio. Because YouTube has stats on everything. Content. Let's look at videos. Ooh. How many videos do you think I've done? We are about to hit February 1st in 11 months. Long form videos.
Long form. I'm going to bring out my calculator because I feel like you have, like I said, for a year, 52, at minimum 150 videos, I feel.
I've done 130.
Okay.
Which a year, if I did 2 a week, would be 104.
Dang. Nice.
So if we've got another month left, in a year, I will have put out 142 videos. Can you do me a favor? What's 142 divided by 52?
Yep. 142, you said?
Yep, divided by 52.
2.73 videos.
A week.
A week, yeah.
Okay. I've done 242 shorts. By the end of this year, it'll be 275. What's 275 divided by 52?
Yeah, you've put five shorts and a quarter, 5 and a quarter, 5.28 if I'm really big.
I do 2.7 long forms a week and 5.2 shorts a week. But yet you and not you, I'm saying you on the internet,
I know
you're going to be like, Bobby got lucky. The algorithm likes Bobby's channel because he's new. Bobby has a secret. I don't know. Look, the volume. Like I just did the volume.
Yeah. Yep.
Like this is what the success is. That's what it takes. You're not willing to do that. You're probably not going to be successful. And again, Mr. Beast, who apparently knows about YouTube, as far as I can tell, 100 videos his first year. It had 1,000 subs and just kept going and going and going and going and going. Not secret, man. Right? Like
it isn't. I feel like it's just like there's a trend, and you know this in fitness and entrepreneurship, anything. There's a lot of excuses, and that I think results in pride. Right? You don't and like the really, really bad kind of pride of like, oh, well, everyone, it's like that victim mentality. And I'm sorry, like have a little bit of humble pie and say, well, I'm not putting in the effort, or oh, I'm not whatever. And hey, you know what? It's not a beat up, right? So I want the audience to know it's not like we're tag teaming WC W style or whatever it was, and trying to like hit you with the chair. But I know for myself, when it comes to fitness, I've been honest with you. Oh, I did this to get to where I'm at, but I did the opposite to now get to a better spot, right? Um,
So let me
and
word that a different way. Let me jump in.
go for it.
I'm not telling you have to post 2.7 times a week.
True.
I'm not telling you have to do 5 to 6 reels a week or shorts. I'm not telling you have to go to your local store and DM for free. I'm not telling you have to invest your extra money in Magic the Gathering instead of Starbucks.
True.
I'm not telling you any of that.
Yeah.
What I am telling you is your expectations have to be consistent with your actions.
Yeah.
So if you're only posting once a month, Brian, you can't come to me in a year crying to me why your YouTube didn't grow.
Yeah. If that's your
Understand
goal.
what I mean? If you're only
Yeah.
willing to work out once a week, you can't be sad at the sight of your reflection in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't. Now, if you're doing 7 days a week, going hard and eating right, yes, be sad, but you put in the effort. The problem is people aren't putting in the effort, but they expect a result. And that's where we run into problems. And then what they do is then they don't know how to fix the problem because they gaslight themselves with these hacks and tricks and algorithms. And no, you need to do more. Like if you're watching this and you want to make this a business, it's a workout, it's a marriage, it's a whatever. If you're not putting effort in, why are you expecting something back?
Yeah. And I think you made a really good point where it's like, if you want the thing to work, you have to put the effort. Like you said, marriage. If I want a happy, healthy marriage with my wife, I need to put in the work. If I want a happy, healthy relationship with my kids, right? You got to put in the work. Like
that's it.
It just is. It's if you think now, mind you, I do really enjoy waking up really early in the morning because that's my time. But I do it because, oh yeah, that's when I work out. My goal is to be healthier, to look good, and to actually have that applicable, whatever. We've talked about it. Well, sometimes you got to give, right? I'm not getting paid to work out. I'm doing, am I getting paid to wake up at 4 a.m? No. But guess what?
If you want to get fit, there's got to be a sacrifice. And
exactly.
By the way, I love Magic the Gathering with all my heart. I love Wizards. Yeah. I love all the things. I love cards, all the things.
Yeah.
But do you really think I love everything about YouTube? Do you think I love everything about collecting? Do you think there's days where I'm like, I don't want to go live tonight, but I have to?
Yeah.
I didn't even.
You got to show up.
Live twice a week, and I started a Discord. Like the work's piling up here. So now we're at 2.7 long forums.
Yep.
5 shorts. We're at 2 lives.
Yes.
We're Discord messages.
Yep.
Messages on Gerudo, which by the way is an awesome Magic the Gathering platform that I'm a part of. But like, then there's watching podcasts. Like this isn't a hobby, my man.
Well, like, I'm gonna pull your receipts if you don't mind, because I'm a member of your Discord. And this isn't a bad thing. I see 2 posts already on Discord.
Yep.
For today, right? 2 videos.
Yep.
And then yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4 videos, 2 shorts and 2 long forms.
Yep.
Like the thing is that, and again, I'm going to reiterate this. If you want to grow, to be in a business, to have a job, whatever, that you're actually happy and fulfilled in.
Yep.
Then go back to the beginning of this podcast, listen to it again. Because what we're trying to say is, and I think you would agree, hey, if you tell me, no, dude, I just want to keep this into a hobby and have fun and just post my pictures of my minis and my terrain, hey, go for it. That's, you know what? We support you. We're for it. But if you're like, oh, I want to be the next Critical Role, which is a big that's the filet mignon of in the D&D world, right? Or Dimension 20, or you want to be the next Matt Colville, or like in some cases, like, oh, I want to be a major podcaster in the TTRPG and in gaming space. Let's choose Joe Rogan, right? He's got I don't care if you like him or hate him, he has the largest podcast in the world.
I'm glad you brought him up. Politics, UFC, whatever aside. Yes. How many shows does Joe do a week?
I know he posts one every day, but he's recording multiple a day and schedule
3 to 4 a week, and they're hours long.
Correct.
Right? Here's another one. You ever heard of Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, that guy.
Tell me what
I think he's got some money. I think he's got some money.
Do you know what year Amazon started?
Was it 94?
Do you remember what it was called?
Wasn't it something bookstore or something like that?
It's called Cadabra Inc.
Cadabra Inc. Okay.
In 1998, Amazon was an online bookstore. In 2008, they started selling like baby products and toys.
Yep.
I promise you didn't order anything from Amazon in 2008. You didn't know what it was. You didn't know what that thing was till 2015, maybe.
I remember in college, I had because I graduated in 2012. Right. So I had an Amazon Prime, a free membership because I was a college student. And it was great because I would get things to my door that I needed because I lived in Steubenville, Ohio.
Okay, so let's go 2012.
Fun times.
So in the first 18 years that you didn't know what Amazon was, how many weekends do you think Jeff Bezos took off?
None.
You see the yacht and all the things and the I just want to start Amazon. Good luck. You know what people say about Jeff Bezos? Well, he was lucky. His parents gave him $200,000.
Dude.
So let's do a random test. Give 1 million people in the world $200,000 and let's see how many of them create Amazon.
I bet you
0.
Yeah. Like, I bet you, I was going to say that all of them, folks would either spend it. I would say 99% would spend that on junk. Like, I'm going to buy whatever. And that 1% would actually say, okay, you know what? I'd love to start a business, but my mom's sick or whatever,
Or they start a business and they fail miserably because they don't want to work hard enough. I'm just
that
saying,
too.
like, real talk. Like you think, oh, it's because his parents gave money. I mean, was that a help? Yes.
Yeah, money's always a help, but it's not yeah.
But here's what other people suffer from, Brian, just as like to take a shot at the Magic the Gathering players.
Uh-oh.
You ready for this?
Ooh, I am ready.
Let's see if I have like a card here. I came with props. You ready?
There you go.
This is very common in the Magic the Gathering community. I'm looking for the right card, my man. Just hold on.
No, you're good because and while you're looking, I'm going to say, oh yeah, go for it.
Ancient Copper Dragon.
Oh yeah.
From a place that you may or may not be familiar with, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I would never pay $75 for a card. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a ripoff. I hate Wizards. I would never pay that. I would never buy that card. Okay, great. Can I have one collector's box for $400, please? What the fuck? Like, you won't spend $70 for the card you really want, but you're going to go gamble on a collector's box? Or can I buy this for $140? What? Like, why didn't you just go buy 2 Ancient Copper Dragons rather than complain about the price? Here's another one. I once sat in an LGS, local game store, and I watched someone cry about a $5 card. I would never buy that. $5 for cardboard. And then drop $40 on DoorDash.
Wait, what?
Wait. Or
oh my gosh.
We'll be like, well, Bobby's lucky. Bobby has all these cards. That's why his channel's better than mine. I don't have money to spend on it. Okay, let's open your Amex statement.
Oh, yeah.
You went to Starbucks yesterday. You got DoorDash yesterday.
Taco Bell probably the next day or
you
whatever.
Pay $9.99 for Peacock a month. You pay $8.99 for Paramount. You pay $7.99 for the ads free on Paramount because God forbid you had to watch a commercial. You pay $29 a month. And like all of a sudden I'm like, no, you could buy the cards. Like, well, just tell me you like Paramount better.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Well, it's like, okay, and I'm gonna. These are micro analogies. Oh, I don't want to pay $60-$70 for a Warhammer set and give that money to Games Workshop. Okay, I understand. But a lot of those people said, I'm going to buy a 3D printer and print the STLs that I can still play casually. That is a great example of, okay, you don't want to do the thing, but you found a solution and you stopped like complaining about it. Cause I think that's the problem is that, oh, I don't want this, or I don't want to pay for that. But then, like you said, you buy the thing that, did you really need $20 worth of Taco Bell?
So here's another one. I bought these used.
Yeah.
Because I want to invest my money in Magic the Gathering.
Sure.
Used Warhammer figures are remarkably inexpensive compared to new ones.
Oh, dude. And they're already painted. They're already assembled. So honestly, if you're just wanting to be casual about it and play, that's perfect for you. There's space for market. There
is a talk to be had about AI.
Yeah, we can dive into that too.
3D printing.
Yeah.
And doing stuff cheaper. So this is going to be a hot take, but
let's go for it.
I'm fine with it. If you say that AI is ripping off artists, that you say that AI is ruining businesses, that AI is stealing jobs, what is 3D printing? These are not 3D printing. They're authentic. But what is 3D printing then?
Excuse me.
Is it better than AI? Worse than AI? The same thing. You don't think if you make a proxy of this, are you stealing from the artist?
It's a good argument.
You are, because Wizards commissions these and pays the artist good money. That's why they sell them and sell them for so much and all this stuff. If you proxy this, you're stealing from the artist. True story. This is the second greatest workout book of all time. It's called Maximus Body. It is me. I say second greatest because I can't put myself against Arnold's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. But
yeah, that'd be difficult.
Okay. Every time someone buys this actual copy, I get a royalty check.
Yep.
If you go proxy this, copy it, Brian, do I get my royalty check?
No.
You have stolen from the artist.
Oh, dude, when people send PDFs of, because this is a big thing in the RPG community. I didn't know if you knew this, but you probably did, or you could assume.
Yeah, they send PDFs of like a Dungeons and Dragons manual.
Or something of that, or any of these, which, okay, maybe WotC is not going to crumble from it, but that third party,
stealing.
It's still stealing.
They had to pay.
Yes.
If they don't make money, they can't pay the artist. So like, there's a fine line there.
Yes, and also what I was going to say was like the indie RPG company that you wanted to support and you bought it, and then now you're sending the PDF to a bunch of people. Well, instead of not sharing it and encouraging your friends to buy it to support that indie company, you just shared it and hundreds of thousands of people shared it too. And then now that indie company's like, well, wait a minute. Oh, like people aren't buying our product. Right.
100%.
And you just tank them.
So I'm just saying, I'm actually going to do a short on this now that we've talked about this, but it's the same thing. So it's totally sidetracked. And listen, I don't have a problem with you making proxies. I don't have a problem with your little 3D printer. I don't have a problem with your PDFs. Like I don't have a problem if some kid can't afford $29 or $19 or $21.99 for my book. I don't know if it still goes for $21.99. It's the price on the back. I don't care if someone photocopy, like fine. I'm just saying we have to have that talk.
Yeah, and we have to just, and I think, and it all goes back to like, we need to have the humility to say, hey, I'm okay with this, or hey, I'm not okay with this, but then walk forward with it, right? Like, hey, I'm not okay. I was not okay with being 270 something, overweight, blah, 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 blah. And I had to have the real talk with myself where, like, and as you know, and like a lot of my audience knows, like, yeah, I enjoyed powerlifting. It was a cool, competitive, thing to do. Obviously, this world, but I was not happy at 272, and I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, wait a minute, I'm not happy, nor am I healthy. And but I had to face that. The lie I was telling myself of like, oh, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I had to tell myself, Brian, you're actually not fine. You are miserable, you're unhealthy, and quite honestly, like, you need to survive to see your kids. So
Yep.
I had to make the change. But it takes that first slice of humble pie, as they say, to actually go through that. So again, with everything being said, if you want to start a business, you got to look at yourself and say, okay, I want to start a business in this, in my hobby, whether it's magic, Warhammer, D&D, whatever. And you got to say to yourself, okay, if this is my goal, are my actions reflecting my end state? Right? You
Yep.
probably did the same thing in the UFC where you said, okay, I want to be a champion. You know, let me ask you a question. When you were training, right? Were you going out to parties?
Not a lot. I mean, I'll say this as a blanket rule. It's not that I never did anything, but I
Sure.
turned down so many opportunities and so many things in the pursuit of my goal. It's not even funny.
From well, let's say this is easier on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being like you 100% partied and
Oh, I was like a 0.9.
yeah.
Like you could
Yeah.
go out a little bit 4 times a year. I mean, I don't know what the number was, but yeah, you have to give up a lot. That's what it's going to take. Now, it does help that I love this. Remember, I said become the expert in anything. There's one category I want to touch on before we jump off, but
Yeah.
you have to love it. If you don't love it, you will run out of gas 100%. Because if you're going to work for free for a year, you need to love it. You need, like, don't go into something because you think it's a moneymaker. You have to love it. If it feels
Yes.
like work, it's got to be a passion. So don't try to fake this. Like, don't just say, hey, there's an opportunity in Warhammer. I'm going to try to do this. No, you got to love it. You know how hard it would be for me? I have some Warhammer, but I don't love it like I love Magic. I
Yeah.
could not do the content schedule for this
Yeah, no, for sure.
that I'm doing for Magic. There's nothing against this. I think it's great. I'm just saying there's no way. You know what else I couldn't do? Stream video games 5 hours a night. Some
Yeah.
people love it. Great. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You have to love it. That's the missing ingredient.
And I think that is a really good kind of dessert, if this were a tasting menu, so to speak, of you have to think of this as a job. You have to absolutely do that. You have to gain the reps, right? You got to get the expertise in it. And I would even say, like, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you don't have to wait 31 years of, to feel like an expert, but you definitely got to put time in. Put in a year or two, 6 months minimum. And in the case of if you want to be a professional dungeon master, getting paid to do this full time because you love it so much and you're like, hey, corporate life's okay. I want to be my own boss. You better be willing to, for 6 months, every Wednesday night when they have Adventures League at the local game store, you better be willing to play 2, 3, 4 hours of running a game.
But to do that, here's my point. You got to love it.
Exactly. You have to, but you have to be in love with it, right?
True.
Like if my dad says this all the time, and he used to say this as a kid, when you wake up in the morning and you think about what you're going to do, your job, whatever, and if it doesn't excite you, don't do it, right? Obviously, you have to pay bills. So let's take that into consideration, right? You and I, we have jobs that pay the bills and support our families,
Mm-hmm.
but you could do that while instead of, and I might poke a bear, but you tell me if I'm right or wrong. what do you think what do you think I should do if I'm trying to grow my YouTube, Bobby? I have 2-3 hours at night when the kids are in bed. What do you think I should do? Should I sit? And mind you, I've already worked out this morning. Okay. Should I sit and catch up on my anime, which I'm not going to watch anime because I'm going to be on my phone, not even fully paying attention to it. So I actually don't get to relax. I'm just busying myself.
Okay.
Or should I focus on the thing I need to do, like edit or promote the video or whatever it may be?
Do you want real answers to this?
No, I'm telling you, like, I personally, I know what I would choose if I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, but and I'm not trying to sound sarcastic. I'm really not. But again,
I'm looking at your YouTube right now. I could actually give you a whole lecture on this.
Oh no, I know what I need to do and be consistent about it. I
know my question. I mean, the answer is there. I just pull your stats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
You do a whole thing and you're like, okay, let's look at and I would look at what's your release frequency? What are your thumbnails? What are your, you could look at it, whether you're going to do it or not. That's another question. But you're right. Like your 3 hours a night is spent doing this.
Correct.
You know how many hours I sit at this desk and do magic? I'm not upstairs on the couch playing. I used to play video games a fair amount. I like video games. I like God of War. I don't play them a lot anymore. My time goes here.
Yeah. My time goes towards my players who pay me to run a Star Wars 5e game every Friday night. That's where besides after the kids go to bed and all that stuff, my time is dedicated towards that. It's dedicated towards making the best game, because what I believe, and especially in the paid RPG space, a game that most people play casually, which is great. You don't have to pay a dungeon master at all. But the benefit of paying a dungeon master is consistency with scheduling and active entertainment. I mean, I don't know. I haven't gone to the movies. Oh, you know what? It's been 4 years since I've gone to the movies because I remember I took my wife out on a date. Not that we haven't gone on a date in 4 years, but to the movies after our baby girl was born. She was 2 months old. That's how long it's been. And she's 4, right? You know how much I paid to go to the movies with my wife and I? And just the tickets. We don't grab drinks there. We don't grab snacks. It's just not $45 plus without tax. Right. And that, by the way, some kids pranked the movie theater and lit up a vape and the smoke alarms went off. So we had to wait outside for because the fire marshal had to, do whatever. So I just paid $45 for my postpartum wife and I to go to the movies and not be actively entertained versus someone pays me $30 and they are actively participating. My whole point is if in order for my players to say this is worth it, I have to put time in. But the price that I paid is because the podcast is secondary, and I'll be honest, not that I don't treat that like a job. My audience knows very much that they get a podcast. I didn't treat YouTube as a job, right? And that's why I'm not doing well there. But I also had to take a look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm not great at juggling things. I'm good at hyper focusing. So let me hyper focus. And then what did you say about teaching yourself how to edit? That you spent time? I had to teach myself how to juggle multiple things, right? I know that sounds silly, but for me and my brain, I have to teach myself.
And you got to work on it. If you identify that as an area of weakness, you got to work on it.
Well, again, when I was powerlifting, one of my areas of weakness was my triceps. That's why my bench sucked. So I had to jam out JM presses, floor presses. I had to jam out a bunch of things, dude. I mean, also I did a lot of band work, but that's a different
way it goes, though. It's the way it goes, man.
But that's what I'm saying. When you identify a weakness, you have to hit on it. But 100%. Anyway, I want to make sure that folks, I'm going to put the link to your YouTube on podcast show notes there so that all of y'all can go and follow. Tell me one thing though, Bobby. What is one message though for folks who are really, really trying? Can you give the people some, like, I don't want to say motivation because that's fleeting, right? But what's one piece of grand advice that if they were to catch one thing from this, what would be that one message?
So it's going to sound esoteric, so I'm going to explain it for a
Okay.
second. Dreams can come true. You just have to work hard for them. Whoever you are, wherever you are. You want to be like Critical Role? I think you can. Not I think, I believe you can. You want to be the biggest Dungeons and Dragons podcaster in the multiverse? I believe you can. You want to have a Magic the Gathering channel? I believe you can. You want to have a massive Warhammer channel? I believe you can. You want to be one of the biggest game streamers in the world? I believe that you can. But you're going to have to work hard for it. Really hard. Be prepared to work harder than you think for longer than you think it will take. And you will get there. That's the message. Like, that's the thing. If you're in a job you hate, there's an out. There's a path where you live your dream life, where you monetize a hobby. It's just not going to fall into your lap. You need to treat it like a job. You need to treat it seriously. You need to treat it like your life depends on it. If you can do that, you will have all the things you say you want. It's literally that simple.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Well, folks, I am going to place a link for Bobby's Magic channel in the show notes below. Remember to be kind and compassionate to one another, folks, during this day. But most importantly, folks, keep gaming.